overwhelming. We actually didn't expect so many people, right? So BiKi, I think a lot of you may not have heard of it. We're just another exchange.
네, 재밌게도 요즘에는 사실 프로젝트보다 거래소가 더 많은 것 같다는 그런 생각도 저희가 들잖아요. 네, 그래서 뭐 또 다른 어떤 또 다른 거래소가 하나겠구나라고 생각하실 수도 있겠지만, 자 한번 들어보시면 재밌을 것 같아요. 네.
네. Okay, so a little bit of a history, right? So in 2013 we saw Mt. Gox as the first generation exchange, and then in the second generation exchange, because Mt. Gox got hacked, most of the users went to Huobi Global. I think we have a few Huobi Global friends over here as well. And then we saw Binance with a unique UI and UX with their media as well. Simple English to attract everybody. I'm sure a lot of you are Binance users too. And then in third generation, we saw Fcoin disrupting the entire crypto space, creating trading mining concept for the first time. And then in the fourth generation this year, there's BiKi and MXC. We are the hottest crypto exchange coming out of China and doing internationalization. And our community is made out of 200,000 strong from China.
네, 여러분들 뭐 사진으로 보시면 아시겠지만 마운틴 콕스가 어떻게 보면 제일 처음 크립토의 익스체인지라고 보시면 될 것 같고요. 해킹 사건 이후에 두 번째 페이지는 13년부터 17년, 뭐 여기 계신 많은 분들 후오비 글로벌이나 아니면 바이낸스 사용하실 거잖아요. 네, 바이낸스와 후오비가 생긴 페이지가 두 번째고요. 세 번째는 F코인. 지금은 여러분들 많이 익숙하시겠지만 이제 마이닝이라는 개념, 마이닝 코인이라는 개념을 처음 시작한 게 세 번째 페이지인 F코인이고요.
I got a little story to sit when a lot of people are restructuring, firing people. We were growing 200 to 300% month to month. We were going opposite the trends, and our users are mostly new to crypto users.
네, 재밌는 것 중 하나는요. 작년에 굉장히 많은 후오비도 그렇고 비트메인도 그랬고 굉장히 많은 크립토 회사들이 사람들을 줄이고 정리하고 퇴사도 하기도 했었는데요. 그때 비키가 성장하게 된 가장 큰 시점이었다고 하네요. 그리고 아까도 말씀드렸듯이 대부분의 투자자들은 중국에 있는 Tier 3, 6, 그러니까 다양한 성들, 사천도 될 수 있고 시안도 될 수 있고요. 되게 다양한 성에서 투자자들이 등장했다고 하고요. 그들의 대부분은 크립토를 전혀 모르는 사람들이었다고 한 18년, 지금 September 이 시기에, 그러니까 정확하게 한 1년 정도 됐죠. 그때 거래소를 시작했다고 하네요.
So here's when we started in August 2018, we thought we could outsmart the market. We thought we could do better than the market, and we listed a few projects. And in October, most of these projects were dying, and we were in trouble. We found out in our financial statements we only have 2 months left in our leadway.
네, 조금 재밌는 이야기 공유해주신 첫 리스팅 상장된 게 10월이라고 하거든요. 그래서 그 10월에 상장을 하고 나서 이제 회사가 조금 위기에 처하기도 했었다고 하네요. 왜냐면 그 프로젝트들이 좀 좋은 성과를 내주지 못해서. 네.
So we went back to the whiteboard to think about how we could do better. We came up with many options. I think we have 12 options, but they all came back to one single point, which we were trying to avoid. Okay. And so basically, the solution is we had to do the launch, the PR, and the community for these projects for free.
네, 그래서 고민을 했대요. 이게 도대체 어떻게 하면 이 프로젝트들을, 리스팅한 프로젝트들을 함께 성장할 수 있을까에 대한 고민을 했는데, 다양한 방법 중에 하나가 마케팅, 그리고 그 커뮤니티를 위해서 액으로 만들어주는 그런 시스템을.
And by December, these projects that I mentioned that we listed were dying. They actually were driving substantial volume for us. And at a point in time in December, we had a wow moment. We thought, hey, this is the model. This is how we're going to grow the market. This is how we're going to help the projects. And from then on, we decided to be a marketing exchange.
네, 그래서 비키의 어떤 시그니피컨트한 접근 자체가 마케팅을 강하게 해주는 그런 exchange라는 이제 타이틀을 얻게 됐다고 하네요. 왜냐하면 마케팅을 적극적으로 거래소가 도와주지 않으면 프로젝트가 살아나기 어렵다는 거를 경험으로 두세 달의 그 경험으로 터득했다고 합니다.
Alright, so what's so unique about our exchange is that, and how it works is basically the word of mouth. So 1 will pass to 10, 10 will pass to 100. It grows really fast. It's not diagonally going up, but it's taking a hockey stick going up. and because we protect our users really well, because they're new to crypto users, and each and every one of our community partners, they have 30,000 BiKi coins to 100,000 BiKi coins staked with the exchange.
네, 그리고 그 커뮤니티 마케팅 CM들에게 다양한 권한을 준다고 하네요. 그리고 그들의 유저 자체는 200만 명이 넘는 엄청난 크기의 유저들을 가지고 있다고 하네요.
Alright, so in December we got invested by Jin, who is the co-founder of Huobi, the CEO of No Capital, and the CEO of China's biggest crypto media. And following that, FBG and Genesis invested in us a total of 10 million.
150만 명의 유저들 지금 확보하고 계시다고 하네요. 네.
Yeah, and so to today we have 200,000 people in our community in China, and we have 2,000 community partners.
네, 아까 언급 잠깐 드렸었는데 커뮤니티 관리해 주시는 모든 분들이 20만 명 정도 되시고 그 다음에 액티비티하게 커뮤니티 운영하고 있는 각각 커뮤니티가 파트너가 한 2,000 파트너 정도 된다고 하시네요.
Okay, so here's an interesting fact. A few months ago we did a survey with our community partners to find out who are they, right? And we found out that most of them are financial agents, insurance agents, entrepreneurs, merchants who own shops from the 3rd to 6th tier cities. And the last one is so interesting. A lot of them are beauty advisors, like key opinion leaders.
네, 그래서 저 2,000분이 넘는 이제 커뮤니티 헤드가 그러니까 파트너가 도대체 누굴까 하는 서베이를 최근.
So just last week, BiKi was in London to present as the world's top 50 innovators alongside NASA, Cisco, Amazon, Nvidia, Oracle, and many more.
네, 바로 지난주에 영국에서 그러니까 BiKi에 대한 거래소에 대한 발표를 하셨는데 발표했던 같은 스피커들이 뭐 BiKi도 있고 IBM, 그다음에 보시면 아시겠지만 오라클, 뭐 나사, 엔비디아 대부분이 사실 IT 컴퍼니였다고 하네요.
There is Michael Ovitz and Y Combinator. So I'll talk a little bit more about. Actually, can anybody of you suggest what's the relevance with these two with BiKi? Any wild guess?
지금 이 두 가지와 BiKi와 관련이 있는 걸 혹시 왜 이에 연관이 있는지 혹시 아시는 분 여기 있으실까요?
Okay, I think it's a little bit tough. It was Jackson who told me about it anyway. Yeah.
Where's
Okay.
Jackson?
Somewhere in a corner. Alright, so Michael Ovitz is a legendary guy from Hollywood. He's the first guy who packaged the whole entire Hollywood agency into one. So in his agency, he had producers, directors, actors, scriptwriters all together. Back then, it was so decentralized. You had to find them one by one. And then he was the first who did a powerhouse Hollywood agency to put everything together to scale these movies.
When was it?
Well, I don't know.
마케팅 다 하나 엔터프라이즈로 들어가. 예전에는 뭐 아마 I guess it's like 60s or 70s, right? 아마 한 60년대 70년대 때는 그 하나하나가 다 굉장히 디센트럴라이즈였대요. 그러니까 다 나눠져 있었다는 거죠. 뭐 프로덕션도 나눠져 있고 뭐 마케팅 회사도 나눠져 있고 액트리스 만드신 분이 마이클이라고 하네요.
Yeah, it's a very, very famous accelerator. They invest, they accelerate, and they connect their invested companies to their resources.
네, and Y Combinator는 회사 이름인데요. 이 Y Combinator라는 회사는 흩어져 있는 각각의 그런 엔터프라이즈나 혹은 사람 혹은 회사들을 하나로 연결해서 딜리버하는 그런 회사였다고 하네요.
Yeah, so the relevance with that, with BiKi Exchange, right, guys, is that we not only listed projects, we actually do the marketing, the community, the launch, as well as the customer service with the project, right? We did the whole package together, and that was the point we discovered that this was what the projects were looking for all along.
네, 그래서 BiKi의 스트롱한 강점 자체가 지금 이 두 분의 연관성과 마찬가지로 프로젝트를 리스팅하는 것뿐만이 아니라 리스팅하려는 프로젝트에게 마케팅도 제공할 수 있고 그 프로젝트가 원하는 커뮤니티도 제공해 줄 수 있고 그 프로젝트와 함께 성장해가는 그 모든 것을 제공하는 하나의 패키지로 제공하는 그러니까 프로젝트가 원하는 그런 거래소.
3 projects that consistently have content to send to us every month. And we have been publishing free articles for these projects, and our users are so happy because they bought these tokens and they want to be updated about the milestones.
네, 제가 사실 아까 통역했는데, 네, 그러니까 매달 뭐 일정 프로젝트가 원하는 그 기간 중에 원할 때마다 무료로 계속해서 아티클 업데이트 해주신다고 하네요. 진서에서.
Okay, so this is the interesting part that makes us so different. Alright, so when the project actually gets, before they get listed onto the exchange, we would actually bring our community to the project's local Chinese community. So we will help the project to create their own local Chinese community. And not only that, the Chinese community will vote for their leader, which will become the project's Chinese ambassador.
네, 재밌는 거네요. 그냥 그 무료로 아티클 제공하는 거 말고도 커뮤니티가 직접 이 프로젝트의 헤드를 뽑는 그런 보링 시스템도 가지고 있다고 하네요.
So this has never been done before, and we are so proud of doing this because this really helps the project so much in penetrating the Chinese market.
네, 그래서 이런 거는 어떤 거래소에도 아직 한 번도 해본 적 없는 건데 지금 비키에서 처음으로 제공하고 있는 서비스고 이 서비스를 만들어낸 것 자체가 비키도 굉장히 프라우드하고 되게 좋게 생각하고 있고 프로젝트에게도 너무나 도움이 되는 그런 시스템이라고 하네요.
Okay, and we localize the project's information to the local Chinese media and community's appetite.
네, 뭐 프로젝트가 원하는 것 원하는 대로 지금 what's that 지금 하루 만에 이렇게 스타트 프로젝트가 될 수 있게끔 굉장히 다양한 통로를 통해서 아까 커스터마이징해서 이렇게 제공한다고 하네요. 아마 이거는 라이브 쇼인 것 같고요. 보시면은 23만 명 정도 있네요. 네, 라이브 스트림에서 이런 식으로 공유할 수도 있고 아니면 다양한 이제 커스터머가 원하는 이제 프로젝트가 원하는 대로 제공할 수 있다고 하네요.
And then we're looking for partners that can introduce us projects for listing, and then we can actually help a lot of our partners. I think a lot of you are here as well. We could help you expose your branding when we go to London, New York, Malta, Russia, right? And at the same time, we can pump business leads to you as well.
네, 재밌는 것 중에 하나가 지금 뭐 여기 노드라고 써 있는데 뭐 노드도 있고요. 비키가 굉장히 중국의 스트롱한 파트너들을 많이 가지고 있어요. 그래서 여러분들이 혹시 뭐 프로젝트 리스팅에 도움을 준다거나 국내에 있는 프로젝트도 혹은 해외든 굉장히 이제 이동을 많이 하시니까 아까 말씀하신 것처럼 뭐 런던도 가시고 두바이도 가시고 뭐 밴쿠버, 상하이 뭐 여러 군데 다니시잖아요. 그때마다 여러분의 브랜드를 그곳에 알릴 수 있는 작업을 도움 주실 수 있다.
Before and after situation, so that our partners can use this in their portfolio to attract more business.
네, I really don't understand this.
The listing, we will take the data of the token holders, the community size, the PR in a PDF format, sent back to our partners such as you. Yeah, after 3 months.
네, 뭐 어떻게 보면은 이밸류에이트하는 뭐 평가지 같은 것 같은데요. 이제 3개월 정도 리스팅한 후에 이제 파트너가 원하는 혹은 파트너에게 필요한 정보들을 제공한다고 하네요. 거기서 피드백을 받아서 다시 파트너들이 원하는 혹은 프로젝트들이 원하는 방향으로 다시 커스터마이징해서 프로젝트.
Hi, I'm Jake Lee from DXM. DXM is a 100% owned subsidiary of Dunamo, which is a company of Uppick, and I'm in charge of sales trading of digital assets.
My name is Steve. I'm from Block Tower Capital. We are a crypto hedge fund based in New York. I'm the head of Asia. Also, I'm an investment director. Previously, I worked for Goldman about 9 years in Tokyo and Singapore as portfolio manager and trader.
Hi, I'm KJ Ha from Blockwater. I'm principal, and we are a crypto investment firm. So yeah, thank you.
Hello, I'm Junie from Blockcrafters and Blockcrafters Capital. We do consultancy advisory work from Blockcrafters. We also own a crypto media called D Street, which is a joint venture with Mail Economy newspaper. And we have a boutique fund established in Singapore, investing in IT projects and crypto projects.
So in that sense, community power is very, very strong. But said that, my personal opinion, not the block tower, is sort of like everyone in the Ethereum community. I think they're almost considering him as manager of the company. But Vitalik is not Harvard Business School grad, or he's not a manager. So people think that he's manager, but he does not function as a manager. So I think that's why all the community or conflicts or miscommunication within the Ethereum community makes all the developments dragging a little bit every time they cannot meet the timeline. So that's why I think I don't know, community is strong, but the way they works is very concerning for me.
I'm pretty much agree with Steve, and I think, in my personal opinion, Bitcoin and Ethereum has different positioning since Bitcoin has inelastic supply system, and Ethereum also is they're thinking about POS and POW, and it's more about smart contract, and they're getting more, trying to make more infrastructures in the blockchain world. So Bitcoin has its own unique positioning that by just owning as a sort of value or putting it as an asset. So those things makes Bitcoin and Ethereum different. So I think that's the biggest reason why Bitcoin will still have possessed the market.
Yeah, I think network effect is really important. Ethereum still has the most developers supporting it, and I think everything takes time. So even like 6 months to a year for devs to work on dApps, there needs to be more time for things to develop.
So there's of course a lot of discussion about this. When Tron was coming up, there was a discussion around that. But basically, I think the economy and the market has learned their lessons. We're not so easily fooled anymore by simple statements such as they are the next Ethereum. That's a lot of BS. So now that everybody is a lot smarter, we'll wait to see about that. But I think in the coming months, we should see something significant coming up. And I think before the news will come out, a lot of our friends over here will have their pocket in it. Yeah.
I think that's a good discussion. Coming to the point about what Vitalik says some time ago, he criticized about the Korean coin. A project that is homegrown. They talk about how a nationally typed digital asset, is going to work for Korea. For trading, for whatever purpose. Do you think we are ready for such a coin in the current market? Do you think Korea coin is something that is feasible? Or have you heard about? Not about.
Yeah, I can start. So if I take back a little bit, when you said Korea coin is more like a central bank type of coin. So as everyone knows, China is going to release this is not a cryptocurrency, but it's digital coin that is basically a central bank of China. I think two things. So one, I think that's very positive impact on the entire crypto space because I think one thing we are missing for all the crypto adoption, this is everyone wanting to, is basically trust. So we are talking about trustless platform that blockchain provides, but I think the reason why the people outside the crypto community are not adopting cryptocurrency because they don't trust us. We need to gain the trust from the people outside the crypto community. Otherwise, we just celebrate ourselves, partying every day, just within ourselves. Adoption never gonna happen. So I think the first point I wanna make is this kind of coin is not a cryptocurrency, but I think that might actually attract some sort of the trust from non-crypto people that will eventually help them to look at us as at least they trust us a little bit, so they actually try what we build. So that's the first point. The second point is, I'll just mention Libra, if you are touching upon later. So Libra, everyone's talking about positive fact, everyone knows it, but I'll just mention two more concerning points. The one is, I think Libra is too private, that facilitated money laundering. But it's not too private, actually, that actually prevents or actually makes it possible for the private rights intervention. So I think this kind of the famous name back coin has a very positive impact for crypto community, but also very concerning point to the community.
Yeah, I think like a Korea coin or this news of Libra and this China coin. I think it's like a gateway drug for Bitcoin. People will get curious about what Bitcoin is to push mass adoption.
Payment and a currency, I think it makes sense that if people start to use national currency pegged stable coins, then it makes sense. But if you're focusing on like utility tokens such as like protocols like Ether, we don't need Korean Ether, like US Ether, Chinese Ether. We just need global standards such as like Google Android Store, Apple Store. So I think we need to approach it in a different way.
I think the limited information I have regarding these country tokens, it's really difficult to comment on anything, right? Because though it's a digital currency, depending on how it's formed, how it's distributed, how users or how people can access it, we don't have any building blocks around this right now. So I think it's really, really difficult to say anything. But of course, like people will kind of link digital currency to cryptocurrency. It's easier from going from digital currency to cryptocurrency than going from fiat to cryptocurrency. So I guess people will kind of like look into it a bit more. But right now, I think it's just noise. I'm really curious on what China is building right now. I'm just hoping we'll be able to get some detail from them, at least before the Chinese people, or at the same time as the Chinese people get information around it.
Societies. As we all know today in China, it's basically WeChat Pay, right? Alipay. Nobody use cash, right? I bring cash there. They don't accept it. They would assume it's fake, right? So it's all driving towards a cashless society. And I don't have a single doubt when this this so-called China coin comes out. There's a lot of competition. I think a lot of countries that will follow suit. Because the model is there, and then it's probably about efficiencies in the countries. That's what I see.
I think this is more about some people say that blockchain and cryptocurrency is always together and the others are not. So I think governments are basically they're centralized organization. So what they're thinking or what they're maybe adopting the blockchain industry's technology, it's going to be a different story. So maybe they can adopt some of them technology from blockchain technology, but I don't think it's going to happen just like all the people saying decentralized or everything that says about cryptocurrency people. So they maybe think different. So I think in some way blockchain technology can be applied, but I don't think it's going to be happen that what blockchain people are thinking about. So that's my personal